Good evening and welcome to another video in the Artful Coder series. This series we're going to be focusing on data warehousing using SQL Server and SSIS, which stands for SQL Server Integration Services. So this is an introductory video, so it's going to be hopefully not hopefully, but it'll be quite short. But what is data warehousing? Well, say you have data in server up here somewhere or another database. Data warehousing is a moving of data or transform from one server to another using SSIS and store procedures. So this is the SSIS, and this does it transformations and then loads that into your target database, which may be on a different server completely, or it may be on the same server. So you can have a series of columns in your source ID, name, you can have name in there, and then ID and code over here, and name. And the reason you would do this is it's a good way to move data. Yes, you could use in-code solutions in ASP.NET, for example, but SSIS is really good, and it's bolt-on module SQL Server, and it's something that you can get for free, and it's good as SQL Server. If you want to play about it, you can download the developer edition, which is completely free. So let's go and have a look at our SQL. So let's do SSMS. Let's see what we get when we go in. Should have some data somewhere, so we could probably play about with existing data. Get second white loads. Thinking about it. Pause the video and I'll join right back when it's ready. Oh, here we go, here we go. So this is our SQL server, so let's just connect. Okay, so what have we got? We got cars. So we have a database in a previous video on clean architecture. Created a database with cars. Nothing too fancy, name, mod, etc. things like that. But in this video we're going to go a bit more on SSIS. So this was part of the clean architecture. We could warehouse this data. There's nothing wrong with doing that. Or we could create a brand new DB, or we could pull it. Let's use it as our source database. So we want to pull the data out of this database into a similar database. So there's a couple of things you'll need to set up to get this working from a SQL Server point of view. So let's go to logins. Let's create a new database first. So right click on databases, new. And you can call this whatever you want, but when I'm doing warehousing in production environments, I tend to stick with something that's obvious what it is. So let's just create SSIS. Now what you're going to need to do is to right click on your cars too, because we're going to sort of mirror it. The car ID is the identifier. So what we're going to do is we're going to go into here, script tables, create to new query window. You're thinking about it. Right. See here, what we don't want is this identity part, because it is just a mirror of what's in one existing database. So let's create a new data. Let's create this, and we're going to want two mirror tables, and we're going to do that. Let's see if this works. Okay, so we need to create a schema. So let's go into here, tasks. Let's have a look. Let's do, I thought you could do it. Let's do a new query so you can get it all. So create call this TMP. Okay, so that's all you do is create a schema, and then it should be now, there you go. So it's a simple command, create schema. So in here, what we should have under tables is, you guessed it, we've got cars there. So let's go back here and let's just do DBO. Okay, execute that. So we now have two mirror tables. So another way to do this is you could pull the cars in like this, but I think it looks a bit messy. So just going to select 1000 rows. We'll take the top out, do that, and we'll create a view. And we'll drop this down to SSIB. And this is going to be called create view as, let's call it cars DB cars. There you go. So create a view. Next thing we need to do is create store procedure. So we can go down to programmability, right click somewhere on store procedures, new store procedure. Here's the series SQL statement. So what we're going to do is, let's do SP as DB as import. Okay, so this is very simple. Let's call it TMP, just so it's all clear what we're doing. And then create a new parameter for it. So is increment. Now the reason I've put this in, you don't have to do this, but the reason I've done it this way is because what we're going to do is we may want to run incremental. So in data warehouse, in terms, you might have a process that pulls the whole database out in one go at 2 o'clock in the morning, but then you might focus on date timestamps for the same day's data or within an hour. So let's just delete this and say insert into let's have a look. So cars, and it's going to ask us to define all the columns. So a quick way to look at this is just to grab it from the select. That's our columns. So let's do this. Select. EVO.B. Let's go to views and refresh. And come down to here. Okay, so that's our data barrel. Would help if I put TBO, not VBO. And then what we'll do is we're going to go V cars DB cars. Okay, so we're not doing anything with that at the moment, so let's just do execute. Okay, so that's our import procedure done. Now, what you'll probably see a lot of on the internet is people who use the transitions or the flows to data flows, or sorry, the data flows in SQL Server SSIS project to move data from one location to another, but that is really slow. And what I mean by that is a data in the method we're going to show you could take an hour or more to do. So we've got a function there, so let's say merge. And what we're going to do is just going to pull this down because we will want this section. We're going to say merge we're going to say merge DBO dot cars as target using TMP dot cars as source on. And what are we going to say is our primary denominator between the two tables? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to use primary key, which is car ID. So we say, let's say target dot car ID equals source dot car ID. So now what we're going to do as well is do some intelligent update. So what we're going to do is say and target dot make is not equal to source dot make and target, and you're just going to fill this out. So model not equal to dot model and no or, so it's or in here because we don't want to see whether they're all true. We want to see where either one of them is. So targets dot number of wheels not equal to source dot number of wheels or pattern target dot color source dot color. I will say or targets dot reg no not equal to dot reg no. Now the next few lines are important because you may have a data warehouse where you may add columns as you go, and it won't work if you add a column in here. If it detects a null, this doesn't work. So what you need to do is do or target dot model is null or target dot number, so target dot number of wheels is null, and just keep repeating this basically. There you go. Dot color is we've got one more, which is or target dot reg no is null. Right, so we've got our criteria, so it's going to match on the primary key and that. So we're going to say when matched, then we want to say date, and we're going to say set target dot make equals source dot make. Right. Okay, so let's just bring that out of the way. So make source make. So I click the wrong thing then. Let's have a look. So okay, so make, let's just leave that as it is because what we're trying to see is when not matched, then we're going to say insert, and this is where we need the other sort procedure. This is where we need these columns. And what we're going to say is values equals that, and let's see how we get on. Let's just copy that down. Oh, yeah, too trigger happy. Okay, so then we want to say, and it would help if I spelled that right. Okay, so then what we say is when not matched by source, then delete. Okay, so that should be our merge statement pretty much written. So let's just get rid of that and we'll see if we find any issues with it. There you go. So that is your merge procedure done. So let's just do alter. And what we're going to do is we're just going to make this consistent. So let's always comma, so it's target dot number of wheels equals source dot number wheels. Say target dot color equals source dot color. And it'll help me spell that right. Let's just put that down there. And do that again. And we got red snow. Yeah, we got red snow. So target dot red snow source dot. Okay. Let's just. I don't know if I've spelled that correctly. There you go. So that is our warehouse built. Well, sort of. There's just one more store procedure I want to add in here, which will make sense as we go along. So let's create a new store procedure. You can see there we've got our two store procedures. Fine. And we'll demonstrate running this warehouse without actually without running it through Visual Studio. So let's create a new store procedure. And this is just going to be called SP. And this is going to be called truncate. Let's put warehouse tables. We don't want any parameters. Take that out. And all, did I put that? Never mind, apologies. Okay, then all this is simply going to do is truncate table TMP. Remember the schema name? Cars. So let's run that. Let's just do execute before we discuss security. So we've got a basic warehouse built. And if you're doing, what I would suggest you do in your views as well, is if we do alter to, if you've got large data, basically make sure that you can pull a flat read without any problems. Otherwise you may get locking issues. So let's just check the validity of what we've done so far. There you go. And if I now run, just refresh that. Okay, go up a level. Okay, so let's just test this. Let's execute store procedure. Do okay. Oh, okay, we need to go back because what I've just spotted is just close cut these, just so that works fine. And we've got a parameter there, and what you want to say, and that is increment equals 0. Now that is in that merge one. There's a reason you do that. Okay, doesn't like that, hang on. Wrong variable then. Okay, so if we execute this store procedure, I'm going to pass that in as 0 as a bit. There you go. So what we should see now is in our TMP, nothing. Didn't like it for some reason. Let's have a look what's going on. Let's go and do modify Schoolboy error when you do this. I'll tell you what, can you spot what it is? So this is cars, it's a default thing, but there you go. We've got them in there. So what we're going to do is we're just going to say, we're going to write a secret bit. Just put it in because we didn't specify the temporary schema name. Now this is a two-stage approach, and what I mean by this is your live DBO table should never just be blanked out at 2 o'clock in the morning and reloaded, because if your warehouse fails, then you have no data. So this mirroring table system under different schemas makes it really simple and good. So let's just try that again. So we've got, let's just, nothing in there, we'll just check. Okay, so what we need to do is we need to say truncate table cars. Let's just do that, and we'll check we've got no cars in there. So now if we run this, so if we run this and do execute store procedure, to pass a 0 in, we've done this already. So this is one stage of the warehouse. Now if we go to TMP section, there you go. So we will now run the merge as well. We'll ignore the is increment for now. There you go. So what we should find is in here. There you go. So we've just basically built, in essence, the SQL side to a data warehouse. And in the next video, I want to show this plumbed up in a Visual Studio solution so that you can see how you can use this in Visual Studio, because you'll need to set your parameters, how you do your calls. I will also cover things like security. So that is how you do effectively. That is a simple data warehouse. That's all it is. We're taking data from this database up here and we're pulling it into our new database. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and yeah, stay tuned.